built on Tai-Chi Engine. This is still a very crude version on this for software. Tai-Chi Engine is a deep learning tool, an AI tool that helps you to accelerate and automate lots of your works as long as you understand the concept of table. And this tool is designed for non-coding people like office workers, data analysts, or like startup entrepreneurs. The whole thing is quite easy as long as you understand how to open up a data frame. A data frame is pretty much a table in Python, which is not like a very deep concept for most people. And deep learning is basically for most of deep learning tasks on this planet is just trying to do accept gains. It's just, and other things like it's just try to get some column with some other column with the data you have. Some column would act as label, some column would act as like input data. So what do we here? What do we have here? Is like we have 3 data sets. Most I will like I start with the simplest data sets to tell you what I mean. So this is a let me see 0. Okay. So this let's try the data set first. First, I have a folder of folders of pictures. Like the folder name, like is here is the kind of bear, and this is the image. This is the whole path of the whole thing. Let's do the try to do the most basic version of deep learning task. Try to guess which type of bear it is based on the picture, and you can see. For our engine, we have 4 phases. The first phase is called enrich, which add more columns to a table. You see there is I choose this path column and I recognize it as image. You can call the column name something else, but it's just for convenience. Let's call it image. And enrich image, and I choose a size. I think this is enough. This is RGB channel, like the image style, which is it's not that important for now. Just leave it as default option, which is quite good for most of the situation. And you see, okay, this is the first configuration we add here. I want to add one more column, which is image based on this path column, and I want to try to add another column called like label column. I can use this as label because the parent folder name of each image for this cell, this is the parent name of this file, and the parent name of this file is some kind of label information I want to use. Okay, now we have 2 configurations upon we have I have to delete one 2 configurations upon this enrichment phase, and I hit next. You can see now I have 3 columns, right? This is a row of data, so I have 3 columns. For each row of data, you will see there is a bear, and for this is Teddy, quite a huge Teddy, and this is the path. This is the bear kind that we extracted from this path information, and what we want is the very bare minimum task of AI is something like you put in this image, tell the AI model this is teddy bear, and the machine will guess so without inputting this, only inputting an image. Like next time you input some new image, it will tell, oh, this is bear, this is teddy bear. And okay, you use the this is strange. Maybe I didn't hit okay, I didn't quite finish typing the label, so this is just bear with me. It doesn't matter. The column name isn't really important in this situation. So I choose image as X. And quantify image. Yeah, this is how we want to quantify the image. If you understand what normalization is, you can choose to normalize the way you want. Otherwise, keep it at default, which is good enough for most of the cases. Just trust me. And I choose the L, like label column. I mistyped, sorry, and as Y. And run interaction. This is preview of first 3 rows. There are like other kinds of bears, but three rows happens to be black bear. And okay, and this is quantified category. I want to quantify the category information to translate back to 1 or to 0, or like grizzly to other numbers, assign numbers to these categories. Just leave it as the default for the most situation. You hit next, and this is how we want to combine a batch of information. If you have some very basic deep learning knowledge, you will know what this is. But if you don't, it's okay. Just leave it as default. Okay, you create this configuration which is there, which you can delete and set it again, or you hit here to set it again. And you want to set the model, which like map out, like tells you entry parts of the model and exit parts of the model. And you can set here, because here we only have titles, but it's empty, but you can set it here. It tells you use a convolutional encoder to as the entrance part of the model. Let's choose the smallest one to make the model run faster, and the category called top as the Y part of the model, which doesn't have configuration. You just hit OK with a little rocket. Here we have is I have configurations on image here, right? I have configurations on label here, and this column name, this is like how I want to build a model. So for Tai-Chi Engine, we build model, use this pings style thing. Like we define quantify for x, define quantify for y, and it's pretty much defines like if your quantify x is quantify image, your quantify y is quantify categorical, and you can only choose model classes like this. You don't have other options for now. Okay, which is good enough. And let's hit next. Okay, I guess we will automatically build a model and hit create. Yes, and it will start training the model, which is which I know there are lots of other libraries which automates image classification problem, which flow from directory is very common thing problem situation, and they can do better automation than this. They can like a Keras, they can do it within 1 or 2 lines of code. But what's amazing about here is like doing other jobs. It's not just about image classification for this kind of area. Like you have wider table, you have a much richer type of data, so you can also do it. Let's try another data. There are lots of code here. It just helps me to open up data frame. After you open up the data frame, the rest is like the rest is like we can handle. So here we have Rotten Tomato information, which is like a movie data set. You can see the this movie link. This is the critic's name, which is like the user, and this is like a review type, fresh or rotten, based on have some review content, or Harry Potter knocks off, don't count more, blah 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 blah, and which I guess this is like a movie copy of Harry Potter. Okay, now we still like try to run this thing. Let's set a project folder. Project folder is something like where this model will end up. I will save everything. Like the engine will save everything within this project folder. And now we go. Okay, see. Okay, so for this table, it's pretty wide enough, and I don't have to add more columns for my task. Let me try things like I use this like a movie information, user information, to guess if the movie plus the user will like this thing or not. Like will like this movie or not. Like this is the Y, these two are the X, and to guess is fresh or Rotten Tomato. Okay. Now for enrichment, yes, I've already said that I don't have to do any enrichment, so I hit next. This is a view, like a view of a row of data. This is the review content, fresh. This guy likes this movie. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to choose Rotten Tomatoes link as X. This is quantified category. Because there's, I guess, within one cell there's only one movie link. Shouldn't be like 2 movie links, right? So let's hit create, and So single category will be enough. And I choose the credits name, which is the user, also as X. And here I use quantify category. Yes, there are two configurations now, both X. And now we should have some Y. And this is like a review score, no, review type, fresh and rotten, also has Y. And you can see I run it here, you will find out, okay, this is a preview of the column to help you decide. Here you choose quantify category, run interact, create. Now we have like 3 configurations around 3 columns, right? So this x equals false, which means this is y. Okay, x, x, y here, and you can delete this thing with like this now button and try to do this thing again. And hit next. This is the model we want to build, and I guess batch size can be bigger. Yes, and here you decide this is like a categorical encoder. What happened? Oh, sorry, the internet is not as fast as I like. And okay, I don't want this like embedding size to be so big. I want to save some memory. That's 64. And yes, and okay, one configuration here on the entry parser model, and also on the entry parser model, I think maybe this thing is even less important, like user information, because there are lots of users. Okay, let's save less information about users. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you know, wish I should use more, but okay, this is just experiments. And this, okay, category top thing, nothing to choose. So I have 3 configurations around the model. One exit parts, which is like a model wants to do things with Y, to compare with Y, and this is the X parts of the model, like a model trying to understand these 2 input columns to guess the exit exit columns, like trying to use user and movie information to guess if the user likes the movie. This is a very typical collaborative filtering task, which like from recommendation systems. Okay, now we want to train the whole thing. Just leave it as default, and here we go. Okay, we go. Okay, so this part might still pop up some errors like before. It's like you have to fix up the non-values within the table for now. But later on, I guess we will have these kind of things figured out, and mostly the whole thing will run. And you can see it runs like phonetically, and it has accuracy and loss. Probably we'll have more of the metrics, build up. Okay, the training loss is like building up slowly. Okay, let's stop the whole thing and try to do it again. This time, I think if the okay, so let's try if the user will like this thing. It's you decide if the user likes this thing based on the description. So let's see. Let me load this Rotten Tomatoes here. Okay, the whole engine starts at this part. Before, it's just want to load the frames. Okay, here. I have to find it. Here, still I don't have to define enrich, and here's quantify. Okay, I want to add one more column for quantify, which is the review content, which is like this description. Right? I want to use the NLP technology to like use a transformer to parse this piece of language, and to see if this is useful to boost up the whole thing. And run interact, just leave it as a default, and quantify text, yes, because this is textual data. And if you this like we are using pre-trained Hugging Face model, you can log on to Hugging Face to see if there are other models for you to use. This is word-based encased for default. Of course, you can use other models, and if you're using other languages like Chinese and Spanish, you can use like pre-trained Chinese or Spanish language model. Max length. I don't think I need that long sentences. Let's keep max length like a 204 for most of the cases. 200 maybe, yeah. Why not? And create. Okay, this like I have one more column as x. I have 3x and to guess one y. Like I will have better chance at getting this y thing. Okay. And because we are loading a transformer tokenizer, it takes some more time at this step to pop up other things. Okay, come on, yeah. This batch level thing I've already said. You see, if I run this thing again under this folder, a lot of things are set due to my last configuration. So this thing kind of mark all the configurations that you've set before. Like you can just run the whole thing if you don't want to change anything, and it still like go smoothly, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so we have two parts of model, like entrance model, but we want three for this X columns, like a quickest name. We've already said this, right? But I haven't set this review content model, part of the model, which I choose transformer. I can only transformer encoder now. Based on the quantified text thing I have chosen. And okay. Okay, yes, we now have three columns that will have its corresponding part of the model as entrance model. And we have exit model, we pinch our like assembled model this way. Now we want to train the whole thing. Okay, great. Now we train the model, which will go smoothly, I guess. You can also do a regression task if you have a review score or something like but this review score is like a categorical information here. Oh, but this one is not like this review score is like ranges from 0 to 1. You can try to guess that using a regression tab and a quantified number if you're interested in that kind of regression task. And it's also pretty accessible to civilians for now. Of course, the train's slower, you can see, because we have transformer engine within this kind of thing. So, okay, let's try another thing. It's like you can freely define a lot of tasks and lots of paradigms using this model. Okay, let's try this data thing, and let's try the Netflix data. Have something fun, and okay. Project 3. Okay. If you think of it, Netflix data is a little bit like Rotten Tomato data, but what I want to do is I want to use this description thing. Let's try this description thing. If we have this description of a piece of media in Netflix, and I have this cast information, which is like actors, actresses to guess listed in. It's basically genre. I want to guess what kind of media this is with description. If this thing is not enough, I can use the cast. And let's go. Let's just try that. I don't have to say enrich here. Also quantify. Also you can show select this description as X. And yeah, I choose multi-category. Sorry, not like a quantified text. And I don't have that, yeah, long sentences to be useful, so I choose short sentences for this kind of situation. Okay, that's 172 tokens. Like it's pretty much like 172 subwords, which is like I guess it's 120 something words. Yeah, it's pretty long sentences for this situation. And okay, this is the configuration for X. Let's just try this X, and another X is probably this cast, and also treat it as like a multiple category thing, because you want to separate this thing, with this comma. You choose the separator as comma. Okay, two things down, and I want to try to guess. Let's not try to guess listing, but try to guess the country. Or maybe like listing. It's all okay. It's like you can choose this kind of thing freely, as long as you can think of a paradigm. Like you can actually run a model pretty quickly out of WIM, and hence you can do more experiments on things. And I go like next, and for choosing the model there isn't much to choose. I guess it's mostly default options. I have to explain, this thing is not like state of the art for most of model, but it's close to state of the art. Something like if you transfer these models to like 3 to 5 years ago, it will be probably the best model in the world to do such task, to understand languages or images, things like that. Let's hit create, and for set batch, let's just use the default option. This also like not that important. Let's try 264, and this is also default options. Okay, now I have 3 configurations for 3 columns, and I hit next, and I have a model. Okay, from this point you've already seen how this thing works, right? This is like it lets you define like things easily. If you can find one column for X, one column for Y, or several columns for X, one column for Y. For now, we don't support multiple Ys, but multiple X is pretty okay. You can pretty do anything more. It's like we can for now we still cannot treat text information or image information as Y, but mostly you can treat most of information as X or Y. Like you can treat year information as Y. You can try to let it guess director, like who should director this whole thing. Like I have a bunch of actors, actresses, and I have the basic genre of hosting. I have this description thing. I should have it to guess which director we want to use, like recommend some directors for us to use, which will be pretty nice, I guess. If you can think of such task too, because this there's pretty much lots of freedom in this you can use with like very easy configuration. I pretty much start to train a lot of model within this whole thing, like within 30 minutes, I guess. I can even do it faster if I don't have to do the explanation. So let me try to stop the whole thing. You can see it's already start training. Of course, this thing will be subject to a certain accuracy based on your task, of course. Okay, let me try to quickly, switch to the task I just described. That you have a lot of information based on the Netflix data that you want to guess director. So I skip this enrich part, and I have the X and Y I want, which listed in here as Y. No, I want the director as Y. I want to guess, if I have such actor, if I have such and such, actresses and genre information, what director should I hire or like make offer to? I use multi-category as the answer, target, and the internet is not like very helpful tonight. You can see. Okay, now I have the director as Y. And as I have already saved some of my configuration before, I have to delete the original one, I guess. Okay, now, yeah, this, if you think, okay, because guessing directors, there are like a much heavier task than before. Maybe I don't have huge GPU and I want a smaller batch size. You can set it here and okay, this is from my last task. I just deleted, and for Y I use this. Okay. Okay, so yeah. Next step, let's train the model. Okay, that's pretty much it. This is like what we can do with, this is what we can do with Tai-Chi Engine. You can, you don't have to learn lots of things to perform X guessing Y task. If it's X guessing Y task, it should be, clicks away. Of course, you're not joining Kaggle competition with this kind of thing. But if you do, like you will see, it's still on the board, leaderboard, but like not going to be very top performance. But if you are just going to apply this into day-to-day life and day-to-day work, it will be very helpful. It will be something pretty amazing. That if you can think of a task and you have a table in hand, which looks like this, and you can click through it. You can have image and the text, guessing the category. You can have like the wider the table, the crazier the combination can be. Okay, so you can just here like try to install the Tai-Chi engine and have fun.